Welcome back to the channel and to this second part of this 3-part series of Rasmus's Mauritius hunt. If you haven't heard or seen the first one yet, you are of course welcome to keep watching, but I do recommend that you go back and watch the first episode of the series where Rasmus's son takes his first deer. In this episode, we will see and hear Rasmus's experience hunting with a bow on Mauritius, stalking a beautiful, mature Rusa hind. You can see for yourself the results if you keep watching. I promise you, it's worth sticking around for this. Again, Rasmus would like to say a big thanks to Jean Francois and all the guys at Hunting Mauritius for taking him around and showing him this amazing day on the amazing island. And also a big thanks to Maussi Adventures for letting us borrow some of his great video taken from Rasmus's hunt. If you are listening to this, remember that you can also watch it on Spotify and YouTube. And remember to share, like and comment if you think our content is worth it. And just know that we appreciate the heck out of you guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.
Seeing him put his hand on it, that was cool.
Every hunting father's dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a big experience. So big that actually afterwards I was like, yeah, I'm not sure I need any more. But I did. And then we continued, and we were walking through a thicket, and we hadn't seen we saw a couple of deers being, not on their own, but one or two together. Other than that, it was bigger herds. And then there was one hind that was walking by herself. And the guide was just said to me, "That's a really old doe, a really old hind. It's kind of left the herd, and we were walking, and it didn't spook. We were kind of walking in an arch around her, and we just stopped for a minute, and he was like, Do you want to see if you can approach it with the bow?" I was like, "Oh, definitely." And then putting the bag down and everything, and getting the bow, we brought both rifle and bow along for the day, if an opportunity should arise. And then I just had an amazing stalk on her. She she was kind of there was some thicket, and then she went out a bit into the open while I was behind a tree, and then she went behind something else, and she started out when kind of the real pursuit began when she was like, I think about 60 meters out, got into 45, then she moved a bit away. I think then at 30 meters, I ranged her and I draw, and I was looking through the peep, and it was his bow, right? And I normally have one pin adjustable, and he had 5. And I was just looking through that. I was like, I'm sure he said 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50. So the red one in the middle is 30. I was like, and then while I was thinking, she just moved. I was like, oh, and I let down very, very quietly. She just continued to cruise, and then while she was, I think, behind something or with her back to me, I moved to the next tree and drew the bow again. And then she just stood with her behind right in my face. And I was at full draw until I couldn't hold it anymore. And then I leaned down like this. I was looking up. I was like, 25 meters, that's a good shot, come on. And she was just standing still, and I got up again, and then I had to put down, and when I put down, the arrow did a small sound this time, and she didn't spook, but she spooked like 10 meters, and then she realized there was something wrong. I was completely hidden behind the tree, and then she went behind a big fallen tree and some brush. And I was just like, I don't know how far she's gonna go. And I just walked very, very quickly up to that and around, and I could see her moving around some other little bushy thing. And then she moved into something that was kind of a ditch. So she went a bit lower, and there was something blocking her view. So I moved like 20 meters, ranged the tree, and was like, if she's gonna come up there, she's gonna come up at 25 meters. And I could just see her back. Ranged the tree, 25 meters, stood there, full draw, waited for her to come out. She came out very, very quietly walking. And as soon as she just stopped for 1 second, I just heard, and it didn't make the kind of popping sound, or I was like, did I miss? And I could see her jump and then run a little, but she ran like 3-4 meters, like jumped up and then she just walked quietly. And I put on another, I think I moved a little, and then I put on another arrow while I was moving, and I could just see her, and she just stood still. And then she went over, and I could just see the legs kicking. I was like, yay! So it was so good. So good. And the arrow was just perfect. It went right through her. She was quartering a bit away from me, and the arrow was just, I just had in my mind, aim for the opposite shoulder. It was a bit back on her, and it just went out completely. It came over to her. She'd gone 15 meters, and lung blood, and the arrow was just right there. Yeah. So it was, that was so good. That was, yeah. So big deal. Rusa doe hind with a bow. Yeah, that was cool.
Not a lot of people have done that.
No, actually not. So so that was just really, really cool. It was amazing. And after that, I was really full.
And now the day was not done.
This was
now to the big.
Yeah, now to the big stack. So everything was kind of in completely messed up or order, and that's what hunting is.
What? There's more? This is the hunting day that just keeps on giving and going, and Rasmus keeps talking, and better yet, he got it all on film. But if you want the rest of the story, you will have to wait until part 3 of this insane hunting day on Mauritius. Hey there, Rasmus and I would just like to say thanks for tuning in to the Up, Out and Under Hunt podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode and got a little bit of inspiration and maybe that extra kick to get up in the trees, out in nature or under the water. Want some more hunting stories, saddle hunting tips or gear reviews? Be sure to follow us on one of the major podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Podimo. And if you don't mind, hit the subscribe button. Then you'll never miss an episode and you'll make us very happy. You can also connect with us between episodes. You can find us on Instagram on UOU_hunt podcast. We are on Facebook on Ud, Op og Under Jagt podcast. And on YouTube on @UOU Hunting. We would love to hear from you. Drop us a comment, send us a message, or tag us in your own hunting adventures. We respond to all comments. It's great motivation and it means a lot to us. So until next time, remember, it's all about getting up, out, and under.